When I first thought about speech therapy, I imagined the most important part was going to be the games, what books to read, and building a relationship with your clients. But behind every successful activity is the big question. Did this actually help my client improve? Data collection helps us answer that question. The words data tracking can sound intimidating and time consuming. And while it is very important, it doesn't have to be difficult to incorporate into your session. Today, I'm going to share with you a few ways to collect data that you can implement into your sessions immediately. Before the session, you want to make sure that you plan ahead so that you know which activities you're going to take data on and prepare how you will take notes. Get creative. You may want to track data in a discreet way if the client tends to get anxious or distracted if you are writing during the session. And if one technique doesn't work for you, don't be afraid to try something new. It's important to find a way that works for you so that you are able to consistently collect data. No matter how data is collected, you will want to make sure to include the client's name or initials and the date that the data was recorded. It will be helpful to add the client's goal that was targeted during the session. Depending on the data, you may want to document the level of cueing given, minimal, moderate, or maximum. It's important to set the parameters for each prior to the session. Signs can be used to indicate the client responses. A dash can be used to indicate an incorrect response. A plus can be used to indicate a correct response. And a plus sign with a circle can be used to indicate a correct response was given, but with help. If prompts were given, you should indicate that as well. A V can be written for visual, M for model, and T for tactile. The number of trials during the session should be noted so that a percentage correct can be calculated. Now for the fun part, how to collect your data. An easy way would be to use a notebook like this or a spiral notebook. It's an easy way to keep data from all of your sessions. One page could be dedicated to a different client. Another way would be to use painter's tape or masking tape. You can tear a piece off and tape it to the table or even your thigh to discreetly collect data. This could be then kept in the notebook that has information in regards to the child's name, session data, and therapy goals. Another way would be to use sticky notes. You can prepare the notes prior to the session with the information needed. It provides a little more space for documenting observations and other data. After the session, you can put the sticky notes on a sticky note catcher like this one. So all of the client's notes would be kept on one page. I will provide a link to a similar template. These pages can be kept in a manila folder like this one or in a binder. Another way to track data would be to use labels, such as these. The benefit to labels is that you're able to print on them and customize them. Here is one that I've already printed on. This label includes room for the client's name, date, room to indicate the goal and data collected, as well as a place for percentage and notes. You can customize the label for what you're tracking. When you're done, you can stick them on a note catcher, similar to this one. Again, they can be kept in a manila folder or in a binder. Another way would be to use a Velcro chart, such as this one. It can be used as a motivation tool for clients. If they select something that they are working towards, they may be more motivated to provide a desired response. It also allows the client to track their progress. You would start with all of the check marks taken off. As they provide a desired response, the client would place one back onto the chart. I'll provide a link of where you can find a similar tracker. Another way to track data would be to use a finger counter. This is a small counter that goes on your pointer finger. As the client produces a desired response, you would then click the counter. At the end of the session, you would document the data. You would need to remember how many trials were presented to the client in order to accurately document the data. This is why planning is so important. I will provide a link of where you can purchase one. Now, there is a more discreet technique called pocket transfer. You would need small objects that you're able to fit in your hand. For today's example, I'll use paper clips. You would need the same amount of objects as the number of trials. So if you are taking data on 10 trials, you would need 10 objects. You would hold all 10 in one hand. If the client produces a correct response, you would discreetly then move one object to the other hand. After the session is over, you would need to then document the data. The information that I've provided on data collection, as well as additional information, can be found on the TEA SPED support page. I'll provide the link to the website if you would like to check it out. Now, I want you to remember that data is what drives our therapy sessions, and every piece of information helps us better support our clients.